Hello, my name is Matthias Cavodio. I'd like to welcome guys to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Universe X, issue number 5. We're going to focus on the Micronauts. On my previous video of Universe X, we talked about Rom. He was part of a toy line that Marvel Comics put out a comic to. And due to licensing issues, Rom has never appeared again outside of that. Like, there's one mini-series in the early 2000s, I think. And the appearances of Rom have been like very few and far in between. Same thing here with the Micronauts. They would pop up very once in a while. I remember the Micronauts popping up in Cable in one story arc. Members that it seems that wasn't part of the toy line, Bug or Nat. Later on became a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He also had his own miniseries in the late 90s, I think. So in this particular issue, we get the origins of the Microverse and the Enigma Force. So I thought it was really interesting because we have the origins of Captain Universe himself, because the Enigma Force is the one where the Captain Universe gets his powers from. So and also in this story, the Enigma Force has joined itself with Captain Marvel, so we actually have Captain Marvel Universe, so that was so cool. And even though this takes place in another reality, it does take a real deep dive into Marvel history and lore. So we get the origins of the Microverse. It starts with this character called Prince Wayfinder. He's in Earth's distant future. And he has to go out into the stars because Earth is being ravaged by these dudes here, and his father tells him he's never going to be king. So he goes out, roams through the stars. He finds this sword in the heart of a star. Tremendous power. He's blinded when he does this, but he decides to go back to Earth. He goes on a series of adventures, befriends a ton of characters. I'm not sure if this is Rocket Raccoon, so this would be the first time I had ever seen Rocket Raccoon before, because this came out in 2001. He reaches Earth. He discovers he had gone to the past due to some weird comic book logic. So it's full of dinosaurs and demons. So seeking refuge for him and his people, he uses the sword, finds the Microverse. I'm not sure if he finds it or he creates it. In the Microverse, he discovers the Enigma Force. The whole civilization and universe itself is born within the Microverse. Further down the line, one of his descendants, his name is Artix Ran. He's going to be the head leader of the Micronauts, of the Enigma Force on many occasions. He's going to be a pretty important character for the Micronauts. Another character that comes from the Microverse is Psycho Man. He's a classic Fantastic Four villain. Hulk had romped around for a time in the Microverse too. The Enigma Force would pop out of the Microverse every once in a while in times of great need and give its powers, be it to Spider-Man, the Hulk. I remember maybe X-23. Laura had the Captain Universe powers for a brief time. The story gets into the adventures of Ran and the Micronauts. This is Bug. This is the character I was telling you guys about. This one stuck around in the Marvel Universe. I guess it wasn't tied to any licenses. And how things went really wrong in the Microverse, Psycho Man decided to use that weird box with the 3 buttons, fear, doubt, and hate, on his own universe, leading to everyone killing each other in the Microverse. What we're going to see later on this issue, at least in this story, in this universe, they're going to give a pretty neat origin for the Enigma Force, where it actually comes from. So the heroes are dealing with the death of Captain America, protector of the young Captain Marvel. Captain Britain and the Iron Avengers are dealing with the Tongue of Krill, who are trying to put back Absorbing Man together. Been destroyed by Vision after Absorbing Man actually had killed all of the Avengers. And it was really cool because Absorbing Man actually absorbed Ultron's intellect, so he became really, really dangerous as a character. So young Captain Marvel, in his fetch quest across the Marvel Universe, he has to get his hands on Psycho Man's weapon, that box with buttons. It has a name. Put in the comments below if any of you guys know the name of that apparatus. It's part of the things he has to retrieve. And we discovered that when the Microverse was being destroyed by Psycho Man, he was trying to escape because Psycho Man, obviously, because of this destruction of the Microverse, he was like becoming more and more powerful. Man Thing actually sacrifices himself, covering this portal from the Microverse. Psycho Man, so we discover Man Thing's fate in this whole situation. But we have 51 talking to Watu, the Watcher, and what we discover is in the Universe X universe, Reed Richards had turned Galactus into a sun, a sentient sun, and his conclusion is that the star where Wayfinder pulled out that sword was actually Galactus that had been changed into a sun, and that the Enigma Force was actually Galactus's essence. It evolved essence of Galactus, and at the end of time, it's going to go back. All this energy go back to Galen, who's actually in Galactus's identity. He had escaped from another universe and he entered this one. So this energy is going to imbue him and convert him into Galactus at the end, at the beginning of history. So it's a sort of interesting and confusing concept. We have the reintroduction of the Supreme Intelligence. I'm going to leave this video here. If you haven't read Universe X, Paradise X, or Earth X, it's worth the while. See you guys next time. Bye.